What up, Twitch? It's your boy Pootu, and it's the Pootu crew. Pootu crew, how are you guys?
What up, Twitch?
Always like hearing my voice again.
Doing great.
Hey,
Swell.
Good.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had that on to make sure you weren't
Dead.
coming through
Oh, that's good.
accidentally or anything like that.
Well, thanks for
the
that.
double Pootu.
The double Pootu effect. How was everybody tonight? How was people's Mondays?
Truly the Pootu crew.
It's pretty good.
It was a Monday.
I got some bureaucracy worked out, so now I have a valid and legal license, which is cool.
That's cool. Congrats.
Now you can finally ask yourself as not having a
I went to
valid
the
and legal
DMV
license
today too.
up until this point.
I mean, I technically did, but it's long story. Anyway, I got it worked out so that it won't be an issue anymore.
That's
Ever.
always good when you can knock
Terrific.
out those issues.
Well, the way you say it was a Monday climate changer, it almost sounds like you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was a Monday.
In true fashion.
Well, that's a shame because Monday is Pootu's weekend, so we had a lovely time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel bad at having such a lovely day when you had such a not so
You're-
lovely day.
I'm happy for you all. It's good to know someone else had a good day.
Well, good.
I love that for you.
Then
That's
no
what
hard
it says.
feelings. Well, we played a pretty fun card game that I think both of y'all would like.
We'll do a plug for
What's
it.
it called?
Here to slay.
What was it called? Slay.
Here to
something.
slay.
There you go.
Ooh.
Play.
Sounds
It's
gruesome.
one of the Team Unicorns or whatever.
It was not. It's adorable little cat people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Classic.
Kind of like an exploding
Just like a Here
kittens
to Stay
vibe
joke.
or something. Played kind of like Munchkin,
Sounds good.
right?
You
Is that-
wrapping some presents over there?
I was hoping that no one could hear that. It's my snacks.
Ah, gotcha.
Gotta have those.
That's all right. Theoretically, only have to open them once.
Gotta have them.
Played Munchkin for the first time in years.
Oh, nice. Who are you playing that with?
I forced everybody to play it on my birthday because it's not everyone's favorite game.
What version did you play? Classic? Or?
I played classic, but the deluxe version that's like real big.
Yeah.
And I figured it was the easiest.
Yeah, it's not everyone's favorite. I guess me, you, and Will are kind of the only ones who are like super into playing it all.
Yeah, we were super into it. But yeah, so people's feelings got hurt. The game came to a rather too abrupt end because we had already been playing for 2.5 hours. So definitely a completely usual game of Munchkin.
Yeah, I mean, once you kind of get used to the flow of the game, you stop getting your feelings hurt because there's kind of only one way to play it at the end of the day.
And that's exactly what it was. It was just like you just don't really understand that this is an aspect of the game that you are getting upset about. So it's like it's perfectly fine, but also you callous over after a little while that like it's not that big of a deal.
You callous over. Well, on that note,
Mm.
welcome to the PU to ASU channel, folks. It is Monday night, which means it's Dungeons and Dragons night. Yay! We are about to get started with session 22 of the Unbeaten path and a very watery adventure that's going to take probably more twists and turns because there's already been several along the way. Make sure to look up PU to ASU. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter, as well as on a Discord. We have a Discord server, and you can find all that, the links here on Twitch, or by searching on those respective things for that respective name, and that respective name being PU to ASU. You also can subscribe in a very unique way. Tell them about it, Climate Changer. How can they subscribe?
Ugh. Everyone, there's a free Bezos bucks out there, and if you have Amazon Prime, which a lot of us do, don't forget to subscribe and let Bezos pay for your subscription.
That's right. Bezos can pay.
It's just
Poochu.
free money. It's just out
Yeah.
there.
Los F.A. de Mal.
And apparently you got to remember to resubscribe every month. So
So get on that, and just a reminder to you all. And I think that's all the announcements I've got. So kick it away, PS Zombie.
All right. Well, PS Zombie is working on some stuff.
So how about
But yeah.
we introduce ourselves?
No, you can do that. You can do that in a sec. I'll do a quick recap. So in our last episode, lots of things. Not really. It was one giant combat, I guess, mostly. We traveled with our new sea elf friends, Ovid and Undine, who were surprised when our heroes dropped in out of nowhere, seemingly in a random spot in the Underdark, with no clue of where the entrance to the path might be. In fact, Ovid and Undine, the sea elves who found our heroes, didn't have any idea even what the path was, let alone where the entrance might be. And after a conversation, it was decided that they might try to head to the reservoir, which is the capital of the Drowned Lords, who are the sea elf community here in the Underdark. They are the weakest of three factions who are trying to exist here in the Underdark that we know of. The Drowned Lords, who are sea elves, the Ashen Kingdom of Drow, and the Grey Empire, which is Duragar-led union of deep gnomes and dark dwarves. So we traveled there and had an encounter with some gibbering mouthers, who were very odd sea anemone-like enemies.
Yeah, they
who
were.
could affect you with their gibbering, and then a couple of other enemies to distract from the fact that the gibbering mouthers were by far the biggest threat in that combat. But yeah, then after defeating these odd beasts, we found ourselves within swimming distance of the reservoir, this underwater kingdom, and then last minute, upon approach, mere minutes away from arriving at the capital, Amubis heard a whisper in his ear saying,
Yes, I
"They're
did. That
going
they're
to
going to kill me.
kill you." It said specifically, "They're going to kill you. Don't hesitate." And that's where we left off. So I'll kick it off to character introductions, and we'll start with Armor per usual.
Me? I feel like I usually start, and that just makes sense. I am playing Karos Fester. My name is Battle Armor. I am an armor artificer who is also an Avarial. I am currently in my more stealthy ranged mode because underwater combat is hard. And I believe in game, Karos has not been able to stop thinking about building some sort of giant gibbering machine to sort of just like stack a bunch of gibbering mouthers all together to like prevent anyone from being able to do anything because they're probably going to fail at least one of the saves, and all the gibberers couldn't, like, because they keep gibbering and they'll gibber at each other, and so probably every gibberer would be stuck, as well as like anyone who entered the radius.
It's kind of like more like a minefield.
Some sort of gibbering prison, I'm calling it.
A radius of inaction. You just couldn't do anything.
I mean, if you surrounded someone with enough gibberers, they truly probably wouldn't be able to,
They'd go mad.
move. The gibbering would sort of just become their life at that point. Anyway, that's my character introduction, I guess.
Okay, so I am normally the one that goes in the middle, I think. So I'm Climate Changer playing Alibaba, the tiefling warlock with the genie patron from the desert, who has his own following, his own family that he carries around with him in his genie's flask. Fun fact about Alibaba: his favorite color is green because he grew up in a wasteland that didn't have any living animals or creatures, so he rarely saw the color green. And that is Alibaba.
I do like the fun facts. I don't have a good one though.
I just thought of that.
That's really good.
I mean, it's been a part of my character the whole time.
So now I gotta come up with a phone. I didn't even think about this. I play this is PU to ASU. I play Amubis, who is by race a Minotaur and by class a cleric, specifically the Grave Domain cleric, and he is going just a little crazy because he has voices in his head, which is just fun. And I've recently attuned to Thrustweb, which is my mighty rapier that I carry with me that may have some residual effects of curses. Feels like that's the case, but we'll see.
Those two facts are completely unrelated. Do not connect them together.
Could be connected together. Who knows? I guess Amubis's...
The sword is not a part of this curse.
That's true. I'm gonna say his...
It would be great if it's something totally other than the sword.
His favorite color is
Just like something he ate the other night.
blue.
Yeah, it can be totally.
He did.
stupid.
He did hear it in his ear, not in his mind. So.
That's true. Could be whispering. I'm gonna say blue
hears
because it's a
voices.
calming color, and Amubis likes to meditate on that anytime he likes to calm. So he likes to go out by the sea or by the water and meditate because blue is a very calming color. I'll keep the color going. I like that. So that's me. That's Amubis.
Okay.
Well, cool. Well, we can continue from where we left off on the approach here.
Can I whisper to myself who is trying to kill me? Who's
Sure.
they? Who's they? Who's trying to kill me? Doing it subtly so my party members don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, go do a sleight of hand check as your sleight of mouth.
Sleight of voice check, you mean? Yeah.
I'm not sure if it would be that or deception, but we'll go with that.
Okay. One moment, please. Character sheet loading.
Loading now.
Oh.
Oh.
Oof.
I knew he talked to himself too much.
Who's they? I yell.
No, I'll say that you can. It's obvious that you're murmuring to yourself, but they can't hear what you're saying. But if any of you would like to react to him talking to himself, you're free to do so.
Carol-san
He
friend.
suddenly and startlingly snaps his head and says something.
Amubis, did the gibbering mouthers, did they get to you, my friend?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've had a bit of gibbering ringing in my ears as well.
They seem to be hearing voices now.
And it's not just gibbering, it's words.
It's words. I look
Well,
at
I thought that was normal. I mean,
I look at our companions because we're all swimming together, right? We still have.
Yeah, that's right.
Still got a ways to go.
You've still got a ways to go. You can clearly see the city now, but you are swimming. I will say you're not even over the sort of outskirts at this point. You're still on the approach.
So I'll kind of say to Cross and Alibaba that I say I'll talk to you about it when we're more alone. And when I kind of tried to whisper to myself, was there a response back of another whisper in my ear or no?
There was no response.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you continue swimming forward, I mean, barring anyone else reacting to things going on, you can see that Ovid and Undine are kind of heading straight for the central structure as they swim. And once you pass over kind of the outskirts of the city, they turn back at you and they say, well, I'll say Ovid says, there is there are many places you could buy supplies or something if you care to. I think that the people of the city will not necessarily have answers for you, but they might, or we can head straight for the capital and consult with the parliament.
Well, we don't really have much money on us. I can't speak for the other two, but I didn't walk into where we were with a lot of money, and there's not a lot of opportunities for looting it in the path. So I'm afraid I don't know what I'd exactly buy. I don't know. Maybe some amount of walking around the city just for a little companionship wouldn't be amiss. It's been a little while since we've seen a fair few people in one place.
I would like something very specific. Just something that can help me swim faster, maybe a carpet that fly, something. Maybe a carpet
An
that can
underwater
sit.
flying carpet.
Yes, something along those. Yes, that's a good idea, Keros. He
It
said
was,
it.
I'm sorry. I don't know if it didn't come across. I was making fun of you a little bit because I don't think we can afford that.
Well,
Again, I can't afford that. I do not know how much money you walked in.
Don't dash his
See,
dreams. If you want a carpet, you get.
We'd have a better time with the mysterious merchant than.
Well, I will say gold has some value down here, but we are not a typical society, quite obviously. So things in trade can offer you much more benefit. Gold we would exchange with the Durgar to some extent, but we do not often make excursions to deal with them as they are xenophobic and will only trade with us under circumstances. But yes, if you have some things to trade in kind, as for things that help you swim, this is perhaps the worst place in the world to look for such items, as we can all swim terrifically, and such
Yes,
items are
that does make sense.
not particularly useful to us.
I see.
Um,
Well, the last time I found
apologize.
myself in this situation, I just went and gambled a little bit, and ended up with a magical power. So,
Yes. Yeah, I mean, where there is a city, there is gambling, so you could probably find such a thing.
but this is a minor need for the party. So,
I mean, with apologies, from what I've seen, you have some magic items upon you. These things are certainly valuable among my people.
Do you suggest we go as a group, or maybe split up? What do you suggest would be best to tackle?
I suggest, I would suggest that you stick with us for escorts. You will be very remarkable on your own. And although I have recently cast the water breathing spell on you, you would not want to risk staying apart from me for extended periods. I am not. I am not vouching for the people in this city. If something happened to you and you could not return to me within 24 hours, you would certainly drown.
That's fair.
Very well.
I will stick with you.
Just quick question, DM. Did I hear that voice in a particular language? Could I distinguish that or no?
Um, it you understood it. But you couldn't swear what language it was in. Um, you can do an insight check.
All right. Sounds good. I will do that. Holla at you, boy.
What a good roll. So with your current state of new languages that you magically understand, it's not like you have a grasp of syntax or even like what it audibly sounds like when you speak or understand these things. But that being said, you found it familiar enough to what the sea elves that if you had to venture a guess, it was in Undercommon.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I don't think it would hurt for us to check out the local wares. We may have some items, and I pat my pack and say there might be some wares that we may think is trinkets that may not be.
I do also think we have a couple of things that we could probably let go of pretty easily if we needed to. Although I'm not certain how a ring of jumping would go down underwater.
Well, it doesn't have to be the ring of jumping. Could be something else.
Yeah, the king
I
of sleep.
don't
I
really
do
have
have an awful
anything.
lot of enzyme that will shrink you or grow you. I don't know if that'll sell like gangbusters. Perhaps we could market it a little bit different, but
I have a healing potion,
well, that's
light
probably more,
crossbow, maybe.
could be reasonable.
Mm,
Crossbows are one of the weapons that works underwater. So
I don't really need the crossbow, so
That might work. Well, let's go see. They may not have anything worth our attention.
yeah, you
So,
can.
Amoeba selects to
The
go to the store.
the sea elves are happy to swim you down to the city proper, and it's still quite a swim a ways, because now instead of swimming as the crow flies towards the center of the city, or swimming down towards occupied areas. They seem to know where they're going, though, and they swim you towards what would be kind of, I guess, a market area. And they'll turn back and be like, "Is there any sort of thing that would be interesting to you? Is there specialists in the city that I don't know, different types of items that might be interesting to you. We don't tend to all do the same thing.
Well, there was that one thing I mentioned, but you know.
We I'm not so aware what a carpet is.
It's just
I
get all soggy.
Hmm. Hmm.
there is
Okay.
also. I mean, I have seen something flying, but it is not common underwater for
Yes,
sister.
I imagine that wouldn't make sense here. Sort of like,
Swimming is kind of like flying. Yes, perhaps a swimming carpet. I can ask
I
around.
mean, genuinely, that wouldn't
it's
be
like
that
a
bad. That would be
seaweed
kind of
swimming carpet that, maybe it's not carpet.
Oui,
some sort
possibly.
of swimming seaweed mat.
Yeah, like a yoga mat instead of a carpet.
We can ask around. And they they'll start to swim and talk to people in undercommon. Most people at the sight of you start shying away. They either retreat back into their shops or they just look at you odd out of the corner of their eye. These are people who have basically encountered only other people in the Underdark at this point. So if you don't fall into one of the categories they recognize of Sea Elf, Drow, Durgard, or Deep Elf or Deep Gnome, they're not too familiar with what you are, and so it ends up being kind of half of what what your Sea Elf friends end up doing is just reassuring people that you're not um, anyone bad.
Invaders of some kind or something.
So, 1 second.
Perhaps I was a little optimistic, my friends.
I mean, I think a little optimism doesn't go amiss, but yes, perhaps don't get your hopes up.
1 second.
I don't know. I feel like the tides are changing for our merchant options.
I feel like I just want to buy something, You
Yeah,
ever feel that way, after a long journey?
yeah, it's just a little retail therapy.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
And also, I mean, we haven't really exchanged money for goods or services
Zink.
in a rather
There we
while.
go.
What a beautiful place.
Yeah, it looks more like the ruins of a city than an actual active city itself, but people have carved out life among the ruins. Because this was once a standing city, you've come to understand, that fell into a trench, and then people had to make do with very limited resources of the Underdark. And just from what the tales you've heard from your guides, the Underdark is very unforgiving. It's constant threats of attack. The native peoples of it seem inclined towards evil, at least according to the Sea Elves. Resources are scarce. Mineral is at least fairly common, but there's no trees. There's very limited plants, and the Sea Elves really aren't cut out for mining. So you get the vibe that they've kind of been using what they already had, and cutting back in order to survive.
So this is probably not a bastion of trade.
I mean, they have to trade with each other in order
Right.
to survive, and due to that, they have kind of reasonable prices, just because it's all about making sure everyone makes it. They're not trying to gouge anybody. They're really just trying to get by. As far as
Aren't we all?
a swimming carpet or something, this isn't something that they're able to identify, but there is somebody who trains fish, and they have a kind of fish that is large enough to ride.
Like a
And
flounder?
they offer it as kind of a mount.
Fish
Yeah, it can
horde.
be kind of like a flounder, which is kind of like a
Wow.
flat fish that you could ride.
I mean, seahorses right there, but yeah.
Flounder
if you
looks
want,
like a
it
carpet.
depends on if you want a horse-like mount or if you want a carpet-like ride.
Yes, entirely fair.
Magical flounder, do it!
I think we're
It's
mixing
not
our
magical;
Disney
it's
movies.
organic, but it is trained.
Which
Are you trying to be Aladdin or are you trying to be Little Mermaid? Because I'm
definitely Aladdin.
mixed metaphors here.
What about the flounder? Can I rent the flounder for
Get a rent
a little while?
Um,
I'm not sure of the currency exchange rate here.
the seller is a kind of older, scarred-up sea elf man, and he's missing one eye and everything. He's very salty old sea dog type, and he goes, "What is this rent? I have no assurance you will come back to us, especially since you don't even look like you belong in the water. It's buy or nothing.
That,
I spent a long time training these."
okay, well, what is your price for a
What?
flounder fish mount?
Well, what have you got? I'm a fish trainer, so anything that would assist a man like me might be worthy of trade.
I see. Well,
I also take gold. The Durgar occasionally trade with me.
I have gold I can throw your way. How about the 2 gold pieces? What do you think?
2 gold for a trained fish. Have you tried to train a fish?
I go, Alibaba, you use this to sweeten the deal. And I give him the eel tooth I picked up.
Okay, all right. This is a good deal. This is the best deal you can imagine here. How about I add a little more gold? How about we go to 5 gold pieces and the majestic tooth of a giant eel that we had slain in battle? It killed many before us. You may have heard of this eel, the evil eel of the deep. You know, all the children tell stories about it.
Are you kidding? I saw 3 giant eels yesterday.
This one
Yes.
was
Well,
very giant.
You have one less now to see.
This is impressive, I suppose.
Okay, I will throw in.
I'm not
something
much of
else.
an eel killer myself.
I can throw in a crossbow also.
Oui?
You know, you see a bad fish, you can shoot it.
Let me see the crossbow.
Okay. He pulls out a mint condition light crossbow that's never been used before.
Ah,
It sort of
interesting.
sparkles with newness.
I see. It is incredibly light. You gather this is because it's made of wood and it's floating somewhat. Very maneuverable. We have no more wood down here, so it's kind of hot commodity. All right, tell you what. I will take the 2 gold, the light crossbow, and the eel's tooth. For a flounder, a one-seater flounder.
Cedar.
Thank you very much.
It's a
I
deal.
was wondering how do I get him to do things? What is there like a command word?
It's a tickle-based system.
Oh,
He'll
okay. I am not.
he'll demonstrate the regions on the flounder to tickle it to get it to move. And if no one's mounted on it, it'll just follow at its own will.
All right. I am so excited. I've never had a giant fish pet before.
Do you,
Smallish.
It is worthless out of the water, but while you're here, it will follow your commands. It has a comfortable 40-foot swim speed.
Wonderful.
So it can drag you along.
Well, I feel like a little bit of my dreams have come true today.
Something to ride upon. That is all he's ever wished for.
And it's almost like I'm flying, you know?
Yeah, it's exactly like that under the water. Only you could already do it at a much slower speed.
do you have any giant swordfish? Asking for a friend.
They are bad for riding though because they have very spiny backs.
Oh, I was trying to do a Donkey Kong something. All right, never mind.
We understand this. We have
We have
have
the
great Donkey Kong.
Country.
The great
We have-
Donkey. He likes the bananas.
We only got the Game Boy Advance port. We did
Yes.
not have the original SNES underwater.
Sea Elves only have PSPs, so we very limited game
Emulator.
very limited game selection. You know the PlayStation. We have Nokia N-Gage. Is our only system.
We have the Neo Geo.
Good times.
Well, I'm done here. I don't need a mount. I'll give myself gills when I need to, I suppose, and just sort of hang around the rest of the time. I think it's probably best that Alibaba has one because he can get in and out of danger as he wishes. But can you teleport your mount, or will it just be injured every time you do?
I don't believe. Well, a willing. Yes, I can teleport it.
Okay, good.
We best not flounder around here.
Huh.
Let's
Oof.
let's get going.
Amubus is chuckling too hard on that. He really likes a good pun. He's like, even after everybody stops up, he's like, flounder around. Can I go to our sea elf guides and I ask if there is anybody in the city that deals with ancient wares or artifacts? Trying to find somebody to look at my sword.
Probably
Oh.
like a drow historian or something would be more
I
any sort of
mean,
museum now.
Ovid will say, I am a historian. There are a few who are superior to me, to be honest. The only thing I could think is, it is possible our parliament might know more as they deal in foreign affairs. As I say, this is a drow weapon.
Yeah, because I've already shown it to him, correct?
Wait. Yes, you have.
That's right.
Or the party has. I don't know if you specifically did.
I think I specifically did. I can't remember that. All right. Very well. Then I am fine to go to Parliament.
Yes, sounds good. I don't particularly feel a need to buy anything else.
I cannot buy anything else. This is the perfect purchase.
You're like, and why would I if I could? um, yeah, so you start to swim towards Parliament, and it's an unusual sensation to be swimming towards everything. Like the verticality doesn't matter any longer, so you're kind of just you just can head straight towards anything you want to. So like
The,
this is the room you're heading towards is several stories up, but it just doesn't matter. You can swim straight to it.
the enemy's
And
gate is down, as we say.
the enemy's gate.
Yeah, it's an Ender's Game reference.
Ah,
Which I'm surprised
I
you've never watched. I mean, you've never read,
I've never partaken in Ender's Game.
never partook.
Love it.
Big fan.
Sorry, I'm just grabbing flounder art.
Except the homophobia Twitch.
You
I
don't-
don't approve of that.
Their homophobia twist.
Well, Orson Scott Card is maybe one of the worst people I've ever heard of, but
Well, there you go.
but he
Thanks.
writes a good first book.
Thanks for keeping a positive image for our stream. Thank you.
I just realized I said I liked something, and it's like now we're on the
Yeah.
internet. I have to
Like,
justify.
now
it.
it's an endorsement of that.
and I do not.
Yeah, it's weird because you think about some things that you're like, they given a second chance, they probably would change certain aspects of certain things.
And there are some.
He wrote
But
that.
then you
in
wonder,
December, right?
would they?
And I think with Orson Scott Card, as he wrote more books, he got worse, and so like the first few are actually perfectly fine, and then like something happened in his life, and he just got, I don't know, angry or something. Started writing it into a lot more books.
To Parliament.
All right, yeah, sorry. Me with my flounder art.
I
New,
really like this.
a new
album.
character shows up, and I just really want to.
What does he look like? If only I had some art of some kind.
Thank you for that.
No.
Thank you for helping me out. Okay, so yeah, you swim and you arrive at the Sea Elf Parliament.
Ooh.
You arrive in a very beautiful, ornate room with magically lit. Unlike most of it, which is bioluminescent, you can tell that this is. They've made an effort here. While most of it is just about survival and about making the most of derelict buildings. This one seems to have been rebuilt to a certain extent and made more elaborate, and without, in the absence of needing like comfort, the lords of the parliament are just floating in the center of the room. They're a small enough community that they just kind of float around waiting for problems to occur, and they will address them as they do. So as you approach, they kind of perk up and look at y'all. Almost having this done. Okay.
I'm seeing the map on Twitch, but I cannot see it for myself. Is anyone else experiencing this?
No, I
do see it.
myself.
Cool.
It's very cool.
You
Very
managed
cool
to
art.
reconnect.
Cool and dope. Well, I'll be back in a moment, and then
It's cool and sick. All right, we'll wait a second for
Dare I
battle armor
say,
to return.
beautiful.
Indeed, it is beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, so you. We'll just wait for battle armor. Any better? Oh, swell.
I can't hear him now.
Oh, Craig says he can't
Battle
hear you now.
armor.
You
Just reconnect.
go to your.
Where thou art, battle armor.
Is that better? Can you hear him now?
I still can't.
He still can.
I knew there was going to be issues when you said reconnect, Tildo.
Button.
I
There,
will.
there he is. I hear ya.
Oh, okay,
Battle
cool.
armor.
Awesome. Ah, sweet.
My reconnect all button worked.
Cool.
All right, so you find yourself in a beautiful room, much more intentional.
Greetings, all powerful council.
I'll say that on the way up, I don't know how it would naturally occur. Ovid explains to you that the Sea Elf government is not elected per se, in that they don't cast a vote. More, it's just like natural leaders appear and are requested to serve the people by addressing the difficult problems that might occur on a political level, and it, because it's such a small, tight knit community where everyone literally knows everyone else, that it's pretty easy to come to a consensus who they want to lead them, and these people can cycle out on as small as a weekly basis, and they can remain in power for as long as a lifetime basis, depending on the political moods at the time, the events going on. They've been kind of in a somewhat peaceful time of probably closer to like Cold War, in that they know there are hostile forces, but they are not. No one's making any actions against each other for now.
For the best.
So yes, y'all being very unusual attract attention, and Ovid kind of swims forward and turns to face you. So Ovid and Undine are now almost like floating with the other lords in more like they're on the other side as opposed to your side at this point. And Ovid will say, "I present to you the foreigners." And the male sea elf, Lord Corm, will say to you, "I see. Present yourselves and tell us what your business is here."
I am Karos Fester of the Avarial people. We are simply passing through. We're looking for a way back to a magical plane of existence called the Path that we've just come from. We're looking for a different entrance to it to get to a different place. Difficult to explain. I'm Karos. Hello.
Amubus Calfin, how do you do? And I deeply bow, as respectfully as I can.
Hey,
You,
I think you guys can't hear each other because you just talked over each other for that whole thing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to reconnect you again.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, oh, sweet. And we're back, Twitch. Thank you for bearing with us.
And we're back. All right. So upon returning, where was I?
I just introduced myself.
Y'all were introducing yourselves. Alibaba was about to introduce himself.
I am Alibaba. This, situation we find ourselves in is very unusual. We have essentially been teleported here from another plane of existence, and we want to find our way back to where we have come from. You have very nice flounders here in the city.
They kind of like nod quizzically. It would be kind of like complimenting the hot dogs in a city. Like, it's not a reputable fish, but it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, they're not bad.
To be fair, though, if I did go to the mayor of New York and I had had a great hot dog, I'd be like, man, got great hot dogs in this place.
And he would be like, I mean, sure. That's, yeah, we like
It's
hot
also
dogs.
really beautiful in here as well. It's okay. Um,
Two best things about your place. This room, flounders.
I'm really excited to find out what the third thing is going to be.
But yeah,
And this is my friend Amubis.
I
Amoebas.
yeah, he had. I think I was introducing myself when I got cut off. I did a deep bow. I said, "I'm Amubis Calfin, a churchgoer from the surface," and I do a deep bow.
Just as curiosity, do you make any attempt to conceal thrust web?
Yeah, it's sheathed this whole time. So,
Okay. It didn't come with a sheath, so
oh,
Unless
that's
you have your own sheet.
I don't. So it's kind of just attached to my side, I guess.
tucked
So,
into your belt or
yeah,
something.
just kind of tucked in. Because I don't have it out noticeably, but it would be kind of tucked in my
just
belt.
like
It'd be hard to hide because you're not really trying to hide it,
Right.
but it's just kind of there.
They could
Yeah,
see
if-
the hilt. They could
if
see the
somebody's
hilt.
like, if somebody's inclined to stare at other people's weaponry, they might
Yeah. So
notice it.
if there's, they could definitely see the hilt. The hilt's exposed in my belt.
Sure. Well, Lord Ina, who is the fairest of the three, with her, she has green hair that's kind of seaweed-like, in that it's very large and curly and floats in a kind of halo around her. She'll smile very sweetly, and bowing's not really like something they do because it's an odd kind of gesture in the water.
You
But
just kind of
she'll
end up somersaulting a little bit.
she'll pull her feet up by her head and thinking that this is the nature of the gesture, and say, "Oh, welcome to the reservoir. We are pleased to have you as long as you would like to stay. You are certainly the most unique people we've seen, and we welcome anyone who is not hostile."
We are not hostile. I give a nod.
And to that, Lord Corm, the male self, will say, "We shall see that with time, I suppose."
As a fun point of flavor, unless I like actively am trying to like kick and move, my armor is heavy enough that it keeps me on the floor of whatever.
Nice.
So I am just sort of like the only one standing. Everyone else is kind of just floating a little bit.
I envision that playing out like the Iron Boots from Zelda.
Exactly.
Lord, yeah.
Just sort of traipsing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of more like the Zora armor from Twilight Princess, in that you can switch to swimming or
Yeah, I can swim
sinking
pretty
at
easily.
will.
Yeah.
Wow. All I
Um,
have is this flounder.
It gives me
and it
no
gives you the
mechanical
best
benefits.
swim speed. Oh. Lord Esme, who's in the center, she's in a more kind of a different style of garb than the others. It's a very old-looking, like, shell armor, and she'll say, "The path. This is something I've not heard of for some time."
But you
Oh,
have
you are
heard of
familiar?
it.
Yes, I am. I am the only one of the current iteration who was alive before our people sank. I may not look it, but I am very ancient. This path was sometimes spoke of, though not necessarily among my people. I have not heard of anyone traversing it in the Underdark, though.
No one at all, huh? What were the stories that you heard of it, though? Was there a path that your people had before you came down here?
No, certainly not. There was, um, it was more among traders and bards who would speak of it. The surface had a a way to travel to the path, as I understand.
Hmm.
But other than the surface, I did not know that the Underdark was supposed to have a way to access it.
To lay cards on the table, I think that surface entrance was perhaps a different one than we originally came through. The one that we came through was quite recent. The kingdom had just built it, and the only other ones that we knew of were one among my people that I hadn't heard of until I entered the path, and one down here, which we were uh, believed to be with the Drow due to certain circumstances.
Uh, this is certainly possible. The Drow would not be forthcoming with such information. They tend to keep any advantage that they have to themselves. Is there? What reasons do you have to believe that the Drow might have access to this path?
Well, we have we've talked to some that some turtle gentlemen that have come through, so we do know that there is still an active path down here. As for the reasons why we think it's a drow, there was a member of their race that came and they did assassinate our king, and they were drow, and we have reason to believe that they came from the path. So, sort of a bit of a reach, but not too far of one.
My condolences for the death of your king.
Thank you.
And Lordina will chime in and say, "Ooh, I have once met turtles. They are lovely, lovely people. It was, I believe it was in the Grey Empire."
Do turtles end up getting along with all the races? Are they a power of their own, or sort of stragglers?
No, I've only known maybe one.
Oh,
And Lord Corm will chime in here and say, "Yes, they are not common in the, nor native to the Underdarks. They must have found their way down here by extraordinary means, much like ourselves.
well, that's fair
There
then.
are there are more traditional ways to access the Underdark if you dig deep enough, fall far enough, but these are incredibly uncommon, and in our case, incredibly unlucky."
Yes. We were also discussing the possibilities with Ovid and Undyne here, that it could be a way for your people to uh, get back up. It's a rather perilous trek, so I don't believe that everyone would be able to do it. And there are rules to it, seemingly, that uh, sort of take individual fighting prowess and merit, and sort of have that be an important factor of it. But certainly, if you're looking to send just a small group up to perhaps secure some way to get everyone back up, it's a valid means that we'd be happy to show you and share information if you were able to give us aid in finding it.
And Lord Esme will respond, "This is the ultimate goal of my people: is to return to the surface. We do not care to stay in the Underdarks. This is not our home, and we are. It's been made obvious we are not welcome here. Um, this would be most welcome information. I do not know what aid we could offer, though. We cannot risk a war with the Drow. They would easily defeat our people. The only reason they haven't so far is that it would expend much resource for underwater territory that's not very interesting to them. But should we anger them, they would certainly retaliate. The only thing we can offer is we have underwater channels that might lead you to the Ashen Kingdom. As for that, it would give you an advantage to get it within the kingdom undetected. They don't monitor the underwater passages so much. But once inside, I don't think we could offer you much help. Any sea elf who accompanied you would be an instantaneous tie to our people that we cannot afford.
A shame then. Perhaps just for the usage of your channels and a point in the right direction, I can attempt to teach you how to make a path yourself if you find yourself in possession of enough resources to do so. Ever, it doesn't take anything very fancy, just rather a lot of raw materials. So it would be a bit of a project, from what I understand of the process.
Oh, that's most interesting. We barely have the resources to survive then, though I don't know if we could build anything. But should you find this entrance, it would be, forgive me, proof of concept that we might be more interested in pursuing such a solution.
Well, yes, we'll attempt to send word back somehow, or I think we've got various means of communicating over larger distances, given enough time, and we can send word back when we found it before we enter back in. We'll be sort of indisposed once we're back on the path. Not a lot of communicating with the outside world. Time's a bit weird.
I see. So, well, if you have a rapport with Ovid and Undine, they can certainly show you the path.
Yes, they've been
To
an
the
immense
path.
path to the path. Yes, it all gets quite confusing.
After you've been in here for a minute, you feel a vibration kind of through your body, like it's not quite audible, it's more like physical, and it's like a low rumble of vibration, and it's not so especially alarming to you, but it seems to be very alarming to the sea elves. As they scramble for a moment, Undine swims before you and says, "This is the alarm. We are being attacked."
Oh,
And she swims out of the building very rapidly. Ovid says, he says, this is an alarm, but it has not sounded for some time. So there must be some sort of danger. And you see there are a couple of sea elf scouts swim into the room and say, "The Drows, they are attacking!" And the Lord Corm will follow them out as they swim. And Lord Esme will say to you, "It seems our time is limited. We must defend against this attack. Ovid can still show you to the channel if you are interested. Otherwise, well, I hope you've enjoyed your time here." And she swims off as well.
Can you afford the time? Do you need to be fighting, Ovid? We could help for a little while, but we do need to get going. If this is going to turn into war, I'm not certain that.
We
No,
would be a burden on you, Ovid, because we would drown without you.
No, I fear that I fear that the Drow's curiosity would get the better of them, and they would send a larger force if they were to see you.
An excellent point.
I would prefer if you would go ahead and take this opportunity to leave.
Yes, that's a far more convincing point than I had made to myself for leaving people in danger.
Yes, this is a very, very delicate political situation. That's
Yes, let's
we
not
don't want to accelerate.
throw a wrench in the works or whatever the underwater equivalent of that is.
I will take you to the entrance of the channel, and I will cast the water breathing spell on you one more time. That should carry you through the channel safely, barring any extreme circumstance that would probably cause you death, regardless of whether you have a spell on you or not.
Thank you, Ovid. And I know, I'm sure this is not exactly a part of your tradition, but druids on the surface are often connected to wood and trees. And I notice you're not particularly, don't have much in the way of that. So, as a gift, please take my quarterstaff. It's made of wood and can provide you some connection to the druids of above as well.
Oh, thank you. It's beautiful, unlike anything I've seen. Seaweed down here doesn't have such a rigid shape to it.
Yes, it's good for bonking and for some spells if you need that.
Indeed, and for ballast.
Yes.
And he'll kind of even mount it almost like a witch's broom or something, and be like, "Come with me." Start swimming away. So he'll lead you away from the city, and I'm going to move you back to this map just for ease of looking. So the city is largely set near these crags, which he will start leading you down one of them. And as you go down, you can see that there is a tunnel underwater. And as you approach the entrance of it, he holds up his hand to stop you. And he begins ritual casting water breathing one more time. So he's going to spend 10 minutes doing that. If any of you have anything you'd like to do in 10 minutes, you may.
Let me see what I can ritual cast, just for the hell of it.
I want to ritual cast something.
Yeah, everybody ritual cast something.
I'll ritual cast detect magic, just because.
There you go. You detect magic. Thrust web's got a bit of magic. You know, your other magic items got a bit of magic.
I would like
Ovid
to
doesn't seem to have any
ritual cast find familiar,
cool.
and I would
What-
like to summon my
What form shall
sea
he
snake.
take? That's
The
right.
sea snake.
Yeah, I think he's already in your thing. I think I added the flounder in your thing as well.
How can you
There
tell?
he is.
How can you tell if something's ritual castable?
It'll have the ritual tag on it. There are only
Still
certain
are.
spells that are ritual castable, such as detect magic, identify, augury.
Clerics do have to have them prepared to ritual cast them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Only wizards don't.
Correct, because they have their spell book. But since clerics can prepare anything, it wouldn't really be fair for them to just be able to ritual cast ritual spells at any time.
I will say point of interest, though, that thrust web, you're getting conjuration magic off of it.
Conjuration, interesting. Which I know to not only be for like bringing things out of thin air, but also teleportation.
Yeah.
What else?
Anything conjuration magic might do.
Cool.
Making stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, he completes his casting of water breathing and says to you, I'm afraid this is where we must part. It's been a pleasure meeting you. It's given me hope for reaching the outside world once again.
Yes. Well, do look us up when you do. I'm sure we'll be out by that time as well. And before we leave, we'll try to send you a message if we manage to find the path and where it is, so that perhaps you could one day, I don't know, sneak out with your sister and a friend or something like that. You seem to be hardy enough to walk the path.
I would like that very much. Adieu. And
Goodbye.
he'll swim
I say
off
thank
to
you in
join the fight.
Undercommon.
That
Which
will
is-
never not be alarming. Yeah, thank you in Undercommon, which is fuck you. I don't know.
Whoa, it's Kid Friendly Podcast.
I'd say
What-
Not anymore.
It's an evil language. It's an evil language.
yeah, I say goodbye in Infernal.
That's an evil language.
I don't know what that is.
Goodbye.
Bunch of gurgling.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, mm-hmm.
For sure.
I also
He's
say
like-
bye in Primordial.
It's like that must. And when you speak primordial, he's like, oh, it must be cow language.
You know, like cows.
Cows are ancient, yes.
He's like, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so we will. You're gonna head down the tube.
Yeah, we'll head in the direction specified.
I'm gonna make like a fish and swim
Sounds good.
down the channel.
Go to school? Pat?
Ooh.
Sorry, I'm a little slow today. I didn't have maximum prep time,
The prep time.
so I'm having to click things that I don't normally. Click again.
Make like a cleric and channel.
Divinity.
Yeah.
But don't think of it
Ooh.
as a sign of how unprepared I am today. Think of it as a sign of how prepared I usually am.
Usually am.
Make
You're like, wow,
like-
I really have to wait several
Wow.
minutes for him to set up a map.
I'm sorry your hangout times caused you to be unprepared.
I'm not. I had a good time.
Make like a wizard magic user and cast Expeditious Retreat.
Well, Roll20's not doing me any favors right now, so.
Super
Roll
nerdy.
20. Roll 20. You can never count on it to do you any favors.
And it indeed is not. Okay. I think I've accepted what's going on. So you enter this tunnel and you can hear up ahead signs of raucous. You can also hear paradoxically the sound of what you would normally interpret as flowing water, but you're like, but we are underwater. So
But we are underwater.
exactly. That's what you say to yourself.
Ooh.
So you find yourselves in an underwater cavern, and you can hear a foreign language being spoken up ahead, which Amubis alone can understand now with his magical aid as Undercommon. As you can hear people saying, when do we attack? We've been stuck here waiting for hours. And then you hear someone reply, we have our orders, we're just blocking escape. They We'll make our moves this time.
What language are we hearing this?
Undercommon.
Undercommon.
Oh, so
Undercommon.
So we're not getting any of this. is
Nope.
What he said.
This is
Is
a
that whale
Anubis
speak?
only. But you all
Okay.
can hear chatter.
so I hear them say they will make their move, and what else? We have our orders. We're gonna
That they
stand
have
by.
their orders. They're just blocking escape.
Are we still underwater?
You are.
I turn to the party and I say, "These men are talking in Undercommon. They seem to have orders to protect this area."
Hmm. We're still not fully back from the eel fight, are we? We didn't get to
I
take
think-
a long rest.
I think y'all took short rest, so
Yeah, we took a
you
short
probably
rest.
have HP back, but not necessarily spell slots.
What? I have no spell slots?
Well, you took short rest.
You
so
do.
you definitely have
You're
no
fine.
spell slots. Let's
Well.
give y'all the full complement. You have the flounder flatter here, and also you have Mr. Newt number 3.
Okay.
But yes, they have not. They are not aware of you yet.
And we have emerged from the water, or we are still underwater.
You are underwater.
My friends.
Gotcha.
Like I say, you can hear up ahead. You can't see the chamber yet. I don't mess with fog of war, so you understand. But you can hear chatter and the flowing of water.
My friends, I think before we rush in, we must come to a consensus on how we will fight this battle.
Flatter, what do you think? And I start trying to talk to the fish.
Whoa. That's what he sounds like.
He's not just a fish. He's a particularly dense fish. He is not at all intelligent. I would estimate his intelligence at literally 1.
Isn't that pretty actually accurate? Aren't flounder don't have a lot of intelligence at all?
I mean, it makes sense. Where would they keep their brain?
Just lie on the
So
ground.
flat.
True.
So should we try to take them on or avoid them? I don't have much ability to. Perhaps if I were fully up and active, I could invisibility us past them or something. Not right now, but could.
I do have a plan that involves invisibility.
Let's hear it.
Man, it involves you.
I cast invisibility on YouTube.
Yes.
How
And
about
then-
yourself?
I ride on my majestic steed here,
Oh,
flatter the flounder, as fast as possible past these.
I did think you were going to suggest going into your bottle and we just hold you, and you are invisible with us. But
Oh, that is a genius plan.
either one, really.
When he's suggesting running on the fish or whatever, I'm eyeing Flatter. A moose eyes Flatters and then eyes you, and then eyes Flatter and says, I don't think that's the best option. You may want to go with the lamb.
Oh, I don't think I can do this because invisibility requires concentration.
Can you not concentrate on things while you're in your?
But
Yeah.
I could only do it to one of you at a time.
Just link the
Yeah, let me put that.
ability. Well, link the genie ability, going into your lamp.
Okay.
Yeah, link.
I mean, if it doesn't say that you break concentration, I don't think,
because you're already casting it,
or
with
that you
their
leave the plane. There's kind of
extra dimensional space.
let's see. You can hear.
You can hear the area. Around
Yeah, I think you can maintain concentration on it.
Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't. Because
And you'd be able to
it seems like you're pretty much still in that space.
target us because, you can do it at a higher level. And by that I mean you have to do it at a higher level.
Yeah.
Do it at a higher level.
This
You can
plan,
target one additional creature. Oh, wow. Okay.
this plan doesn't seem awful.
Yeah,
The only thing is,
I think I'd allow it if in the future some concentration bottle thing comes up that's completely game breaking. I might disallow it, but I think
Yeah.
in this application it's not bad.
What could possibly come up?
Yeah, I mean, there's no telling how this will work out. So,
something like, I don't know, putting a concentration AoE spell and then like us all going into the bottle and just waiting.
Yeah. Get access to Spirit Guardian somehow.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. It's the whole point is I can't foresee it, and that's what worries me.
Yeah. So you would pop Newt into an extra dimensional space. We'd go invisible, and then perhaps
Well, Newt and Flatter are both very common sea animals right now, and they would
Yeah.
not draw attention.
that makes sense. I was going to say perhaps we send Flatter in just to make sure that they're not going to be on edge for literally everything, and head in after him.
Probably
I mean-
Newt, actually. Wouldn't that be more,
Well, you could actually see through Newt's eyes, which would be useful.
That's fair.
oh my gosh.
He didn't cost a light crossbow.
He
So-
costs 10 gold, which is technically more than we
Way
spent.
more than a light. No, light crossbows cost 25 gold.
Oh, do they? Oh, okay, cool. I didn't realize they were so valuable.
I
Indeed.
didn't either. If only I had used it one
I mean,
time.
It's worthless to you if you don't use
Yeah, if you never use it. I've got a light crossbow too, if you want it.
There you
Okay,
go.
so this is the mad plan. I cast invisibility on you two. Go into the bottle. One of you carries the bottle up and out of this passage.
Yes, and if we start screaming, you can come out of it pretty quickly, right?
Right?
Yes, depending on how the conversation.
Come out and help us. Right?
I mean, the conversation that I proposed that you would come out for was screaming, which is not much of a conversation, really.
He can leave early as a bonus action.
Yes, I can come out of the bottle.
Cool. Well, I see no flaws with this plan. I'm currently the stealthiest I'm going to get.
I could cast put up my Spirit Guardians now if we think we're going to get caught, and at least have a perimeter wall if
Well,
we need
that
to.
would probably hurt them, wouldn't it?
It
as
would.
we went by?
It would.
I'm not certain that's the
But-
best plan.
Also, on a side note, DM, is this gonna break the game? Like,
No.
Hey, you never ask that question. You just
okay,
do
you
it.
just do it.
Yeah.
My answer is always going to be no to that question.
He'll account for
All
it.
right.
It'll be fine.
It's my job.
Well, I'm gonna cast invisibility on both of you.
Cool.
Sweet.
All right. We've got.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
one
say
out.
that
Hell yeah.
one of you starts out holding the bottle just to.
Yeah.
Just so that question of whether it turns invisible when you start holding it isn't asked.
Here, you can take this bottle.
Can I conceal it under like some seaweed or something? I try to grab seaweed.
It's not really necessary. It'll turn invisible with you.
Okay, cool.
Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it is on the target's person.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Are we going to see the lamp conversation, or are we going to do our sneaky sneak first?
Is there much of a lamp?
And I popped into the lamp.
Oh, there's always a lamp conversation.
Heyo! This is fun.
Um,
I like this part of the campaign.
yeah. So
Honey,
you
I'm home.
So you zoop into the lamp. Trying to think of what we should do first, y'all's experience or his experience.
Well,
Do the one you're
depending
with.
on,
let's start
depending
with
on
y'all's
if we get
experience.
caught or not,
Yeah.
it might get cut short or something.
Let's
so.
start with y'all's experience, and then we'll move on to his. All right.
Sounds
So, yeah, you're Alibaba is gone. Amubis and Karos, you are invisible. Vladder and Newt are just moving about as fishy boys. Um,
Do, do,
so,
do, do,
what are y'all
do.
going to do now that you're invisible
I,
Uh,
s- I
for up
s-
to 1 hour?
I swim up to the edge of this little canal so I can lay eyes on the voices.
All right. Go ahead and
um,
do a stealth check with advantage.
yes, I cast guidance on myself and move up as well.
I should have cast
Go ahead and
guidance.
do the same.
Joke's on you. I already had advantage on stealth checks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for my. Oh,
That's pretty sick.
What?
I don't think. Why is this heavy armor
Yeah,
tag?
why is
on
it
here?
heavy armor?
yeah, I don't know what that is.
Neither of you should have a heavy armor tag on.
No, we shouldn't.
I don't know why it's done this, but
Do you have it equipped in your character sheet?
I might do.
Oh, you know what? I bet you don't have it equipped, but you have it equipped. You know,
Yeah, like is the check mark
yeah.
next to it?
if you have heavy armor in your inventory and it's checked, then
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
there you go. So 15 plus 3, 18.
Where? I don't even see it in my
So
inventory.
I had scale mail, so you probably have a chain shirt in
Okay.
your equipment. Just hit the little check mark next to it, and it'll go away.
Okay. I had scale mail in here.
Yeah, then that's it. I
Okay.
unchecked my scale mail and it
All right. Yeah, just remember that you have 18 AC, not 17, because it for some reason lowered your AC.
Heh heh!
Nice, 23.
Stealthy.
Let me just. I'm gonna take a glance at their
it lowered my AC or his.
hits. Not. I don't
Okay.
think it lowered yours, did it?
No, it didn't affect mine at all.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I was just making sure it didn't show up on your screen as that.
Yes, as you move forward, you do not notice any particular reaction from them, and you can see there are 4 drow dressed in armor. They seem to have air bubbles around their head, kind of like in Harry Potter. That seem to be there by some magical means. And there's also a more elaborately dressed drow man who certainly appears to be the leader. You can see that it's a large, you can't tell by this map, obviously, but this is a large well-like column that, from what you can tell, goes all the way up to some sort of surface. Here at the bottom, there is a flowing reservoir of oil that is flowing like water from the holes in the wall. And this appears to be some sort of man-made dug well to collect oil.
Well.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I think we just sort of
They're loitering.
How's it going out there, guys?
Give me a perception check.
I will.
I will.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I accidentally still left advantage on there.
What
It's only
do
7.
what do you see out there? Are you seeing it?
Yeah, you can see that the drow like foot soldiers or swim soldiers, however you want to describe that, they are armed with a long, heavy spears like pikes, and the leader, the drow lieutenant, has a short sword and several daggers on him as far as their weaponry. And as far as their defenses, the drow lieutenant is in some sort of shell armor, and the drow invaders have some kind of fish leather armor, it seems like. that they've prepared for underwater combat specifically.
Makes sense. They're sort of underwater task force.
Indeed.
Actually, if they're gearing up for war, they
Frogman.
probably just have an entire division.
Yes, they have long been at odds with the sea elves, so they know what they're doing by now. They're not interested in just losing every sea combat they have.
Does it look like we just sort of head straight upward?
Yeah, that would be the way to the surface if that's what y'all are interested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we're just trying to get past these dudes, and I think this is the way we do it.
I don't go. I try my hardest to just go straight up along the wall. I don't want to go over them. I just want to go up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I'll say you stay a little bit away from the wall just so your wake doesn't kick up dust or what all else. But yeah, just each of y'all give me another stealth check as you start to swim upward.
Oof.
Yikes.
This is with advantage, right?
You can throw your
I
throw your guidance on there too.
I just noticed now that I would not be able to cast guidance again. Like, we can say that I cast it before he did invisibility, but if I cast a spell, it's Gonzo. So
that breaks invisibility.
yeah, that breaks invisibility. So
all right,
that 10 is a 10 is a 10.
I'm doing pretty
Come
good.
on. Get out of here.
You don't need stealth per se in that you're already inside a bottle. You are not present. Well, I feel like this is as good a time as any on a cliffhanger to kick it over to inside the bottle.
Yeah, inside the bottle.
I feel
Inside
so
the bottle.
healthy right now.
So as you kind of your body almost turns to flame and gets sucked into your lamp as usual. You come to awareness inside some sort of it almost seems like a metal box or a cage, but it has glass windows in it, and you appear to be peering into some sort of portal that has strange images on it that you've never seen before.
This is such a strange thing to come home to, dear.
And you're sitting next to your patron Jedi, who is in a poodle skirt, and you have a almost like a ship's wheel in front of you, but much smaller. And Jedi looks over at you and says, "Oh, so good of you to finally make some time for me. Where have you been?"
I've been a little busy. It's a long story, but in and out of different dimensions. I'm in the Underdark now.
Yes, I could sense that you were back on the material plane. It's much easier to contact you now.
You could say the power of friendship won out there at the end.
Well, hopefully the power of fatherhood will win out eventually, because I'm sick of taking care of your children. And you look and you see identical metal boxes next to you, and they're all full of kids who are just fighting with each other. They're throwing some sort of popped grain treat that you've not seen before at each other. And he goes, "This is a full-time job, and I have magic powers. This is not an easy thing for me."
You mean to tell me your heart has not warmed to the children? You do not like them at all?
My heart is as warm as it will ever be. I'm a freaky. It's just
I knew it would
maximum
happen.
hot.
I knew.
Just maximum hot. Look, I appreciate that you're back on the material plane, and this is where I would like you to stay. I'm telling you, there are bad things happening in that path, and you don't want a part of them.
Well, I may not have an option. Unless you know how I can get out of the Underdark without using the path.
No, that's that's a near impossible task unless you have ways to other ways to travel planes.
Hmm.
Look,
If
do you
only I knew someone from another plane who knew how to do those things.
look? I
Oh
can't do
well.
it. I can't do everything for you. You want me to babysit? You want me to travel planes for you? You know I'm not physically here, right? This is like a communication device.
Oh, I see.
Look, do you know who's there in the Underdark with you?
Um, friends, my friends Anubis,
Look,
and
you're not the only one using the path right now, and if you don't get out of there real quick, you're gonna find out who.
who? Are you
Let's
talking
check.
about the worm, the giant worm that?
No, I'm talking about things coming up from below.
Hmm.
Look, everyone's starting to realize that the path is open for business again. Things can come up, they can come down, they can travel the plains, and let me tell you, I've known some of the things from down below, and they want to conquer. They want everything else to belong to them, and the Underdark is the first line of defense.
Oh, what kind of things are you talking about? You're making me a little nervous.
It's he starts speaking abyssal with you. Things from the abyssal plane, bad things, your ancestors, and this is one family reunion you don't want.
You're right. I've got a good family here. I don't need any extended relatives coming around. Um, you are doing a good job raising the children, though. I can tell they had a much better childhood than I did.
Let's just say between the how many are there? 10, 13? I've lost count. Am I missing some?
Somewhere in there, yes, it's about that much.
Uh, they've had like 15 cavities between them. But like half of those was with one kid. I don't know what he's eating.
Ah, I think I know the one.
Yes, old Candy Steve. Yes, that's what we call him.
Oh yeah, we called him Candy Steve. Hmm.
Yes, Candy Steve, your most candy loving child. Anyways, listen to me. Just stay away from the Grey Empire. That's where the demons seem to be coming out most often.
Okay, yeah, I'll stay away from there. Wouldn't want to get near that place.
Yes, the I will say though, those Duragar, they know what they're doing. They're holding them at bay a decent amount.
Would you happen to know how to get back on the path?
No,
At least
the path is kind of a blind spot for me. It's outside of my purview.
I see.
I just the abyssal plane is adjacent to the elemental plane of fire. We're kind of next door neighbors, but like the kind of neighbors you don't like to talk to.
You know, I know I can't really bring up wishes with you all that often, but
It's such a stereotype. Oh my gosh.
yeah, you know, it would be great if the children could maybe take a field trip or two. Um,
I mean, I can only really go to the material plane or the elemental plane of fire. I mean, if they want to visit, they could, I guess, go there, but they all resist fire damage, right?
about half of them. You know,
You adopted
uh,
orphans, right? They're not all tieflings
they're
necessarily.
not all tieflings. I'm not a tiefling maximalist, so um,
Open invitation.
yeah, all who needed a place to stay. Um, well, at least they're getting to see these strange images of. Uh, what is this exactly? Some kind of
I
illusion.
I feel like something would break if I told you what this was. So let's just say it's an illusion.
Okay.
Is
Um,
it actually Creature from the Black Lagoon pinball, or does it just have the very aesthetic?
it's just generic 50s sci-fi movie.
Fantastic.
Just something you might see in a drive-in. Yeah, we'll cut back and we'll just say that you chill there until something tells you not to chill there.
Something goes bump.
Like a 10 stealth roll.
Exactly.
The movie ends.
So
It's pretty great in here, guys.
the thing is, the lieutenant kind of snaps as he hears something, but there's certainly no reason for him to assume there's two invisible people swimming by him.
Indeed.
So I'm going to give you all an opportunity to do something. You can either do nothing at all and hope he doesn't pursue this, or you can try to do something to discourage him from pursuing this. I'll leave it with y'all how you want to approach this, keeping in mind that certain things like attacks and spells will deactivate your invisibility.
Yeah.
Wait, Newt. Go do something.
Yeah, you can control Newt. What do you want to have him do?
Newt, go distract the big one. And so Newt goes and swims around this drow lieutenant.
Okay. He's going to. Well, Newt wasn't really near where he perceived something, so he's going to kind of wave his hand at Newt, like shoo him off like you would a fly or something.
Um,
How far did we get on swimming when we got noticed?
It was pretty near the start of it since y'all just did that stealth roll. So I'd say maybe like less than 20 feet up.
Sorry, battle armor, cut you off.
Oh, no, that's fine. I realized the thing that I was going to say wouldn't actually work.
Yeah,
Well-
keep in mind, like, you know, movement, interacting with things, that doesn't drop your invisibility.
What's the swim speed I have right now?
15.
Just half your
probably.
movement speed, so 15 feet. Unless you're on flatten.
All right,
Flatter.
try to make
More flat.
15 feet up.
Is this a pretty smooth well? Are there any,
Yeah,
like-
it's man-made. It's hand dug.
Okay.
So it's fairly smooth, but it's since been like overgrown. So the side has like barnacles and seaweed and various creatures living amongst it. So it's not like just sheer rock with nothing on it. You gather that this was dug some time ago, probably centuries, knowing elf lifespans.
Okay.
I'm going to, far more slowly than I was moving before, I'm going to try to eke my way around the corner so that I'm at least not within like searchable range if he moves to where I accidentally made the noise to before.
Sure, he's
And I'm going
just-
to
despite his ability to breathe, he does not have any additional swim speed, so he's actually pretty slow as well. So it's going to take him several rounds of you being able to do something to get to the spot where you are.
Okay. Um. I don't know if this will make it worse. I am going to use my action to use the just artificer ability, magical tinkering, which I believe will not break my stealth, my invisibility,
On
and
attack or spell, it won't.
and I'm going to just touch a little rock where I was, and it is going to just like make a little like odd vibrating noise, like it's just gonna kind of like, I don't know, have a small minor clatter, like maybe something is digging around behind
Almost a gibbering, if you will.
it. A sort of slight gibbering, perhaps.
Circle.
And-
At the sound of gibbering, they all scatter in fear. No. It's gibbering! Get out! It's gibbering!
that is the effect that I will be using.
Yes.
And it is canonically perceivable only up to 10 feet away. So he'll hear it once he starts to get near.
Okay.
But he won't before then. And I can freely end it when I would like to. So as soon as he gets closer to it and like starts to investigate, I'm gonna end it.
All right.
And I'm gonna swim sort of over here a little bit.
Yeah. So
I go up. I try to use my dash, and if I can use a dash action too, to just continue to go straight up, because if that's where we need to go.
You might need to not dash if you're stealthing. I don't know if you can move full tilt while dashing. I mean, while hiding.
Yeah, you're not explicitly hiding. You're just invisible.
That's
So,
fair.
like, well, it would normally be a neutral perception check to. I guess it wouldn't be at all. I don't know. I don't think you are hiding. I think you're just invisible. But I don't know how hiding works per se. Wow.
It's weird rules for certain.
Yeah, I might do it something like because right now above game I'm doing your stealth versus their passive perception. I might give them a disadvantage perception check if y'all were hiding specifically.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because that would
An invisible creature is impossible to see without magic.
So like they probably wouldn't be able to find us like almost at all if they were just sort of passively perceiving, but like once they start looking, they might be able to
right. So it's more
specific.
Right. That's why it's like they're not on high alert per se because they heard something, but
So,
they're not finding.
I think they have basically disadvantage on perception checks, and we have advantage on stealth checks.
Yeah,
And
that's good. I like that.
If they have disadvantage on something, their passive perception is reduced by, or their passive whatever is reduced by 5, I think.
Is that all right?
Yeah, if you have disadvantage on a check, your passive version of that check is reduced by 5.
All right.
Or if you have advantage, it's increased by 5.
Well, he's gonna come over, and he'll see the gibbering rock, and that will sort of stop vibrating as he approaches it. I'm gonna move flatter because he's just gonna be over here, and he'll accept that as a reasonable excuse for the things he was experiencing. So he's gonna swim kind of back towards the center, and y'all can continue upwards.
He's not familiar with water. Maybe that's just a water thing.
Yeah, he has no reason to believe that
They're
there's
looking
not.
for sea elves.
I mean, when you're on the beach, you know, there's always random bits of sand that just has bubbles coming out of it, and you're like, that's probably something, but I don't really care what it is. So yeah, they will continue to just guard this exit, and y'all are free to continue swimming upwards towards. You can see where the water breaks at the top, and I think I'll take this opportunity to be done for the session.
Are we headed towards Greymire?
Greymire?
Gray.
The
More
Great Kingdom?
Oh, the Grey Empire.
Gray Empire.
No, from what you
Okay.
know,
Great.
the Sea Elves are sending you to the Ashen Kingdom, which is the Drow territory.
The Great Empire is where the Dwerger are, correct?
Indeed.
Indeed.
And they didn't really talk about that much, but you did not get the implication that it was particularly nearby.
Well, that does
Fun
lead me to
time.
believe that perhaps maybe it is them instead. If people are coming up from also Revelation, we did not know that there was a below bit to the below the path. So it's turtles all the way down, I guess.
Condition! Unacceptable!
I think I don't know if it had been stated. I felt like it was stated in game that there were 5 levels.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Maybe that was just my headcanon. But I didn't mean to keep it from you, so
Well, I assumed there was one up.
Everyone knows that.
I assumed there was one up, one down, and then maybe like some sideways if you wanted to connect them that way.
You know what it was?
I assumed other.
I didn't explicitly say there was 5 levels, but I did say that messengers came up from the abyssal plane and down from the astral plane. So
That makes sense. Yeah, we did know that.
There was an implied 5th layer.
I think that was definitely before we knew too much about the path in general too. So it was like, oh yeah, up and down. I guess that makes sense. But now that we know, it's like,
and also neither of those would be considered the material plane, while the Underdark and the Sky realm are both material planes.
Yeah.
So it could be different.
yeah. My understanding
than
of it
traversing the path as normal
was sort of because like we only recently relinked the middle bit.
Yes.
And so I figured that there were other realms that could potentially be linked in the path, but maybe they hadn't been fed in a while, and so they like atrophied. Various things like that.
Great session.
A
Very
hub world
cool.
everywhere.
Sorry for totally bypassing your combat.
Hey, that's what
No,
spells
that's
are for,
chill,
baby.
yeah.
We wouldn't have seen the drive-in if you hadn't.
And also, like, believe it or not, I anticipated that as a possibility. So
Yeah, it's not terribly unreasonable to assume that your encounter might be solved by moving past them. Like,
yeah, especially in something like this where there was just a clear, like, you were trying to go somewhere. There was a traversing objective, not a like, hey, we want to see what that pool of water is objective.
Yeah. Nothing that we need to be in this room for, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
This room is
Move
dead to
on.
us now. It's beautiful, but it's dead to us.
Sounds good.
That's right. Well, thank
times.
you, PS Zombie. That has been another episode in the books of the Unbeaten Path. We are going to be continuing this watery adventure next week. So
I think
join
it'll
us.
get significantly less wet here in a moment.
You don't know that. You're not the DM.
I'm guessing.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't let someone buy a flounder and then take him out of the water.
That's right.
Wink, wink.
You could skim the top of the water. Then it would be a magic carpet. That would be cool.
Go down.
That's right.
We can
No
figure something out
doubt.
for Flatter.
Make sure to find PewDasu on the stuff. The stuff could be Twitter. The stuff could be Instagram. The stuff could be YouTube. The stuff could be Facebook. Or the stuff could be Twitch. Find us on all of them. I will get to posting the videos on YouTube from this session and our Kaiju Slayer, most recent Kaiju Slayer.
Speaking of,
yes, speaking of, we are not having Kaiju Slayer tomorrow, so we are taking a night off of that. But keep in touch. We may be doing something else in lieu of. So the best way to get those updates is to follow us on our Instagram or our Twitter for those updates. And I think that's it for me. So Twitch, it's been great, but have a good